All right, Oklahoma City. Ooh. Ooh. Oklahoma City, not a great stretch.
Let's have a little perspective.
Not a great stretch. It's not a great stretch, Rage, of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are 2-4 in their last 6 games. 3 of those losses have come to arguably their biggest rival in the Western Conference, the Victor Wembanyama-led San Antonio Spurs,
baby.
who squeezed out a 2-point win over the Thunder on the semifinals of the Cup and followed that up with back-to-back wins by a total of 35 points, including a thumping on Christmas Day that had the proud Oklahoma City crowd leaving with about 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So let's have some perspective here. And we've talked a lot about San Antonio. We know how good San Antonio is. But how concerned would you be if you were Oklahoma City based on these last couple of weeks?
I'd be concerned enough to start looking at my enormous wallet of trade assets and trying to think about, have the conversations about what we might do before the trade deadline. Because this team, so young, so talented, won the title, went on this amazing stretch run to start the season. How would you ever break it up? Why would you trade anyone? We've got guys on 2-way contracts who are playing so well. We don't need any help from anyone outside. Maybe you do. What do you think?
I do think that not just this, but how last season played out. Because even though they're the champs, they cut it close a couple of times.
Sure.
Like the Denver Nuggets don't get ravaged by injuries in the second round. Maybe they win that series. Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't go out. Good chance the Pacers win that series. So this is not, as good as they are, this is not some unstoppable juggernaut that we've seen over the last 18 months or so. And their biggest problem right now is perimeter shooting. Shooting is their problem. You look up and down their roster, and either they have a bunch of guys who aren't really shooters or guys that are underachieving as shooters. Lou Dort has not had a good season from beyond the three-point line. Alex Caruso, last I checked, was under 30% for the first time in his career. Jalen Williams, his numbers across the board have been down since he came back from injury. So they need is a strong word, but if I'm looking to upgrade this team, and it's tough because, like, where are the minutes going to go to if you're bringing in another shooter? They love what Caruso does on the defensive side. Jalen Williams is not coming out of games. Shea's not coming out of games. But I think these 3 losses to the Spurs exposed the fact that they are weak when it comes to perimeter shooting. The second half of that game on Christmas Day, it was like they were hunting 8-pointers.
Yep. Everything
was a out of rhythm or a contested 3. Meanwhile, on the other end, San Antonio was going to the rim relentlessly. They were attacking. Like, this was also, like, Mark Daigneault's an elite coach. Mitch Johnson had him. Mitch Johnson has had his number over these last few weeks. The fact that the Thunder do not like putting Chet Holmgren or Isaiah Hartenstein on Victor Wembanyama, that has opened up the floor. You know, Wemby said something in the post-game press conference. He's like, I'm not telling you guys everything because we learned a few things over these last few weeks. And one of the things that they've learned is that if you're going to play Caruso on Wembanyama and have him battle with Wemby in the paint, that's going to leave Holmgren, Hartenstein guarding a smaller player further away from the perimeter, and it's going to free Dylan Harper and Stephen Castle and De'Aaron Fox and Keldon Johnson and all the guys at the Spurs, Devin Vassell, all those guys to go to the rim and beat you up. Like, that film of these, especially these last 2 games, needs to be studied closely because the Spurs have figured the Thunder out in a couple of different ways.
It's so interesting you bring up the Chet thing. First of all, I do want to ask you about J-Dub because I'm curious with your reporting. You've spent so much time down there. It doesn't look that the wrist still looks like it's bothering him, right? And I don't know if there's a long-term issue there to worry about. But the Chet thing is fascinating to me because there is a mental game going on between the two of them. And the reason I have been...
Chet and Wemby, you're saying.
Yes, yeah. Chet and Wemby, sorry, yes. One of the reasons I've been so high on Victor Wembanyama beyond the physical gifts is that mentally he takes so many strands from so many of the great players and uses them effectively together. You and I covered Michael Jordan. The world saw a lot of what we covered when they watched that documentary. When he saw he had a mental advantage, he was relentless, pressing it against a player that he thought he could make feel small. Victor Wembanyama, make no mistake about it, is out to make Chet Holmgren feel small. He does it when he trash talks him on the floor. You can see him talking quietly, but talking. He does it in these little comments to the media, these little public comments. Chet seems like a very nice guy. I don't know him well. We have a nice hello, how are you conversation when I see him. He seems as if, just from visually, as you watch him, he seems as if he is, I hate to use the word intimidated because we have such a macho basketball conversation that's like saying something about a guy's character. I'm saying nothing about Chet's character, but I am saying he comes across like Victor has the edge on him, and mentally. And Victor is pressing the hell out of that. And you can see it. And it's just that little tinge of MJ of sort of like, I got my thumb on you. And I am, you come guard me because I'm going to crush you. And the fact that Oklahoma City isn't putting that matchup together tells me they know it too. And that is a fatal flaw. If you are going to be rivals, if you guys are going to be this team going back and forth in the West for years to come with these two young talents, Chet's got to learn how to play against Wemby, and it's got to be mental as much as physical.
And because, it keeps him in the paint. And same thing with Hartenstein. They have to be in the paint protecting the rim. How many times in that game, the last two games, Dylan Harper going to the rack, Stephen Castle going to the rack. Like, they were able to get in the paint and wreak havoc on the Thunder in that aspect. And I think that is in a large part partly due to the fact they see the matchup. All right, you're going to put Caruso on him? All right, I get that. Fine. Caruso is a great defender against these smaller guys. Wemby still pulling up for three, doing whatever he wants to do. But that's going to free up the lane for us. We're going to be able to attack the basket. They just beat the Thunder in every phase of the game over these last couple of weeks. They beat them mentally. They beat them physically. They beat them in the coaching box. They beat them up. And that's something the Thunder... I thought Shea had the best quote about it. He's like, you can't lose to a team 3 times in a row and not say that they're better than you are.
And
right
Shea was
now,
frustrated.
Yeah.
Did you see he took a little physical thump at Wemby
Took
there?
a shot at Wemby, too.
Right? Just a little shove when they were going up the court?
It kind of exposed, like, they don't have an enforcer out there. Not that you need to have an enforcer against Wemby, right?
Good luck.
Actually, I take it back. No, Dort.
First of all, they have Dort, and you're
Dort
not
took a bad shot at Wemby. See that? There was like a clip that went out there. Like,
I don't think that's not the direction I would go.
Yeah.
Look, we've talked for years and years. Steph changed the geometry of the game of basketball, right? He stretched the court. He changed the geometry. Victor has come in defensively in the other direction and changed the geometry. You cannot take a shot in the paint close up when Victor Wembanyama is patrolling. You can't. The reason why his block streak ended wasn't because he got bad at blocking. It's because people weren't even bothering to try anymore. So yes, you need that outside shooting. You need to, if you're going to play against a Wemby team, you have to have a team that tilts toward being able to shoot from outside because you're not getting close. That's why, to me, more than anything, when you say, oh, that's what we got to look for, it's not they need an enforcer. They need to basically take advantage of that or take into account that within 6 feet of the basket, they're not getting the basketball in the hoop.
Yeah, it is, to bring it back to Chet, like, you are getting sunned a little bit out there.
Yes.
Like, when Wemby, and we all saw the clip, when Chet got Wemby in the air, Wemby didn't just foul him. And we pushed him to the ground after that. And then he gets to the free throw line, and Chet missed the first free throw, and Wemby celebrates like they just won the game in that moment.
Again, first of all, I'm never comparing anyone to Michael Jordan because God knows what the internet does with that. And they're not the same guy. They're not the same player. They're not the same personality. Very different personalities. But the thing I like about Wemby, among everything else, is he takes little bits from different greats. And I do think he has taken a little bit of the MJ playbook of, I am putting my thumb on you and I've got you. And every time you wake up and you see my face, you know it and I know it. I am better than you. And I don't think Chet has been able to get past that mentally yet.
Well, it's going to make it for an intriguing match. I think they play one more time this year, maybe.
Wait till
then
playoffs.
when you get to the playoffs, I think he's got to embrace that matchup. I think he's got to lean all the way into it. It might not go his way. He might wind up in foul trouble, probably will. But the way that they're defending Victor Wembanyama against
you're
that
not
team,
scared.
like the Spurs, like Mitch Johnson deserves some consideration for Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Like, deserves some good... I don't know who wins it. Missoula is having a phenomenal year in Boston with the way they're playing. Obviously, Mike Brown's done some good things with the Knicks. Plenty of others. But Mitch Johnson, his coaching staff, they did a great job during this stretch of scheme. Like, Wemby and that team did the work on the floor. But This was a schematic win too. This was a play calling, how they constructed their game plan win as well. All right.
Can I give two quick
Yes,
player
please.
shout outs though? Darren Fox, who
Awesome.
I just
All-star.
I want to give him the credit. He's so
Yeah.
fast
Yeah.
too. And by the way, that's been part of this equation
Yeah.
too against Oklahoma City.
And having a clutch player like him, end of game situations.
And the leadership, and I
Yeah.
think he has taken some of the pressure off Victor in terms of sort of being like, no, I'm the leader of the team. I'm the quarterback. You're the star, Victor Wembanyama. I'm the quarterback. And those can be two different people. And I think Darren has done just a great job of that, and I think he gets a lot of credit. And Harrison Barnes, man, he's playing in a way that I don't think a lot of people expected. I think his NBA journey is kind of interesting, and sort of the way he ended up leaving Golden State, and it was sort of like, oh, well, you get rid of Harrison Barnes, then you can keep winning. And the fact that he's with this team now and playing so well, and a legitimate part of their success, and an all-around nice guy, I'm very happy for him.
And
That's all.
Pop, remember when Pop first got him a couple of years ago, one of the things he said was like, we need a guy that has great practice habits.
Yes.
And Harrison Barnes is one of those guys. And I'm sure that's rubbed off on them as well. One more thing on Castle. Like Victor Wembanyama is lock first team all defense.
Yeah.
I think Stephen Castle belongs on that list too. He has been great defensively.
Yeah.
Like that's two guys that have been really strong on that end of the floor.
He's just physical.
Yeah, they're all physical. Dylan Harper's 19. He plays like he's 30.
Yeah.
Physical, going to the rim. De'Aaron Fox, comfortable, star. Like that, those three guys, we talked about this last week, but that three-player backcourt, good as it gets right now in the NBA.